The 2025 Spanish Grand Prix started out as an ordinary race. McLaren dominated the front row, Max Verstappen secured third place for Red Bull, and Ferrari languished in the middle of the grid. Behind the scenes, however, there was much deeper drama led by seven-time world champion Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton was battling not only his rivals on the track, but also internal strife within his Ferrari team. What exactly was going on behind the scenes, and how did Ferrari respond to the pressure? Let's find out. Ferrari arrived in Catalonia with a questionable SF25 and doubts in the air. From the first free practice sessions, there were signs of trouble. Sharp oversteer in the middle of corners, poor traction when exiting corners, and an unstable balance. The car was like a wild beast, difficult even for Maranello's skilled mechanics to tame. Lewis Hamilton did not remain silent. Throughout Friday and Saturday, he continued to criticize the car over the team radio, saying it was undrivable. For Hamilton, these complaints were more than just technical reports. There was a hint of danger behind his harsh words. He was beginning to sense Ferrari's internal politics, which have often hindered great drivers in the past. Meanwhile, Charles Leclerc offered a glimmer of hope with his brilliant performance in FP3. However, when the Q3 qualifying session arrived, Ferrari made a strange decision. They did not send Leclerc out for a second try because they wanted to save soft tires for the race. Was this a strategy? Or was it a political maneuver to avoid comparisons that could harm the Golden Boy's image? Ultimately, what happened on the track was clear. Despite complaining loudly all weekend, Hamilton still managed to record a better time than Leclerc and finish in fifth position. Meanwhile, Leclerc, who had previously been the main source of hope, was left behind in seventh place, a result that raised significant questions about the Ferrari team's direction. What does this mean? Hamilton proved to the world that even without the best car, he's still a serious threat on the track. There were no major upgrades, no new wings, and no secret tricks in the garage. Just pure racing ability, guts, and incredible composure under pressure. In an interview with Sky Sports, Hamilton said with a slight smile but a firm tone, "I think I have the car to fight for the podium tomorrow." At first, this sounds optimistic, but upon closer listening, it's more than hope, it's a subtle warning. Hamilton is well aware of the SF25's weaknesses in qualifying. He knows that McLaren and Red Bull currently have a more complete and sharper technical package. However, he also knows that in long races, during the crucial laps when the tires start to wear and the drivers begin to falter, the gaps appear. It's not because the car suddenly changes, it's because Hamilton himself evolves, turning on his gladiator mode. Furthermore, he openly said, "We have to be aggressive from the first corner." He wasn't playing it safe or holding position while conserving tires, he was attacking. This is not the picture of a veteran playing it safe for a secure finish. This is the picture of a true champion, ready to fight. If Ferrari doesn't fully support him and the team doesn't optimize its strategy, they must be prepared to accept the harsh reality that they could see their drivers speeding without permission and overtaking their teammates or main rivals to prove who the king of the track is. Leclerc was kept in the garage during Q3 on the grounds of saving tires. But the public began to see a suspicious pattern. In Monaco, Hamilton was detained early. Now, in Spain, it's Leclerc's turn again. Twice in two races, Ferrari seemed to strategically, or even politically, limit the opportunity for one of their drivers to shine. Is Ferrari simply trying to save tires for the race? Or is there a deeper fear that Leclerc could beat Hamilton, or vice versa? Publicly, Ferrari maintains the narrative that they have two top drivers with equal opportunities and that both drivers are fully supported in bringing the team to victory. However, a closer look reveals that the team's behind-the-scenes decisions seem more like a chess game to maintain internal balance of power than a pursuit of victory. There are signs that Ferrari is trying hard to avoid a direct confrontation between its two star drivers. Rather than letting them battle it out on the track, the team is choosing to play by the rules and strategies, even if it means sacrificing one driver's maximum potential. This raises a burning question in the paddock. Are they really going for the win, or are they more concerned with preventing one driver from becoming too dominant? While anxiety and confusion grip almost every major team in the paddock, McLaren is performing like a smooth, untouchable machine. While their old rivals are still grappling with unresolved technical and strategic issues, Oscar Piastri calmly and confidently took pole position, showing that McLaren is more than just a team of entertainers. Not only that, but his teammate, Lando Norris, who is also experiencing a revival in performance, firmly locked in second place on the grid. This makes the front row completely McLaren's, a sight that, a few months ago, was unimaginable for observers and loyal Formula One fans. Behind them, Max Verstappen stood alone as the only Red Bull flag bearer in third place, a position usually reserved for his team's absolute dominance. Meanwhile, Sergio Perez, known as Verstappen's loyal companion in the world title fight, sank without a trace in the middle of the grid with a performance far from expectations. This situation sparked speculation in the paddock. Has McLaren truly become a formidable new competitor, or are the established giants, such as Ferrari, Red Bull, and Mercedes, merely holding back their full potential, waiting for the opportune moment to launch a devastating counterattack? Verstappen himself began showing signs of frustration rarely seen before. In recent seasons, the Red Bull car was known as an unstoppable monster capable of dominating the grid with its superior performance. Now, it seems to have lost its teeth. The team's upgrades thus far feel too conservative, failing to deliver the significant leap in performance that was expected. Radio communication in the cockpit sounded tense and pressured, as if the tension were eroding the defending champion's fighting spirit. Meanwhile, Perez is sinking further into the shadow of his teammate, unable to put up much of a fight. Verstappen now looks like a lone gladiator who must fight tooth and nail to maintain the glory of a kingdom slowly cracking under the pressure of a new force that cannot be ignored, threatening the absolute dominance he has enjoyed thus far. The race in Barcelona is not just about who is the fastest on the straights or the best at tire management. It's about controlling the narrative and having full control over the team's direction. Lewis Hamilton comes with a fire burning in his chest and a thirst for victory. He demands full aggression from the moment the starting lights go out. Charles Leclerc, on the other hand, is prepared to play the long game. He will read the race and wait for the right moment, like a patient predator stalking its prey. However, Ferrari is now walking a tightrope that is becoming increasingly strained. If they allow Hamilton to attack from the start, they risk embarrassing Leclerc in public and upsetting the internal balance of the team. However, if they hold Hamilton back for the sake of team strategy, they could hinder the progress of one of the most talented and experienced drivers in Formula One history, a man who came not just to fill a seat, but to rebuild the legendary Red legacy. The 2025 Spanish Grand Prix is not just another race. It's a reflection of the complex internal politics and fierce rivalries within one of Formula One's most legendary teams, Ferrari. Amid the anxiety and uncertainty hanging over Maranello, Hamilton is a modern-day gladiator who relies not only on speed but also on courage to challenge the status quo and demand change. Meanwhile, Ferrari faces a major dilemma. Will they maintain the delicate balance between their two stars or take big risks in pursuit of glory? With McLaren showing more strength and Red Bull faltering, the competition at the top of the standings is heating up and becoming more intriguing. The question now is whether Ferrari can reunite their strengths, potential, and resources to answer this big challenge with a mature, planned strategy. Or will they be trapped in a vortex of internal power plays, political intrigue, and egos that could cause them to lose their current momentum? Share your thoughts in the comments section below.